This is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition, and we're specifically going to talk about Strongheart, who is the leader of Valor's Call. So, Valor's Call is this all good aligned, all have good alignments, which is a big deal. You know, it's a hard reject of the no alignment, woke element that had been preeminent for the last 3 books. It was in Candlekeep's Mysteries, it was in Rime of the Frost Maiden, and I think it was in the book before that too. And so alignment has returned, and Strongheart is the leader of Valor's Call, right? So he's really special. He started this group, right? And he is a human, lawful, good paladin. And I want to talk about him today. He has a sentient, good sword named Steel. Oh, and of course, let's give the bona fides for Strongheart. He's in the 1980s Dungeons & Dragons cartoon, the 1983 one. He's in the 1984 XL1 Quest for the Heartstone, and he very much has his own action figure, right? And actually, I am incredibly blessed. I own a Strongheart. So I have a Strongheart. I have a Strongheart character action figure off the card. It's in good condition. It is loose, but it has all of its accessories. But I do not have the backing board, and it's certainly not sealed, right? So it's not carded, right? It was a gift from my brother. It's a very, very nice blessing, and I was very, very fortunate. I feel very fortunate to own it. And he's, of course, he's an action figure. He has a sentient sword named Steel. And one thing that's really interesting about him that I did not know before is he is incredibly opposed to evil. He will not abide evil. He does not allow evil in his presence, and he strongly opposes evil. And he called Valor's Call, and he put together Valor's Call, right, in order to fight. And it's a good aligned group of heroes, and he put it together specifically to fight evil. However, he always attempts to apprehend any villains or monsters he comes across. He only kills if there is no other way to accomplish his goal, right? And he is opposed to actually killing, when he goes up against Kellic, he's not going to kill Kellic unless there's no other way that he can capture Kellic and apprehend him. But I also think it's interesting. He's like, I'm opposed to killing, but if I got to kill you, I'm gonna. He's kind of interesting. He's not like Batman, right? Where Batman, that is a hard code, right? Here he's like, I'm going to give every effort to apprehend you, right? And I think and he's very, very effective, and I think that's really cool, right? So he is a very powerful, and the other thing is his sentient sword can be gotten by one of your one of your own player characters if Strongheart falls, which I think is really interesting. So Strongheart is a really fascinating character, and let's talk about this aspect. So one of the other things is Valor's Call is larger than just the 5. They make it very clear that Valor's Call is larger than just the 5 people who are listed in Wild Beyond the Mountain, the Wild Mount, right? So, Wild Beyond the Witchlight. So basically, they were saying, and you get the idea that there could be 10 or 20 people in Valor's Call, right? Because a lot of people are drawn to what Strongheart is doing, and he's highly respected. One thing that was a little frustrating to me in the presentation of that really was, I think, fairly frustrating overall. That I didn't really like the presentation of within Wild Beyond the Witchlight of Strongheart is this focus on friendship. So you guys have heard me previously talk specifically about friendship in Dungeons and Dragons. So I have a weird relationship to friend. Well, and actually, I guess I am actually practicing what I preach, right? So I think today, because Dungeons and Dragons is so critically important, that what we should be doing is we really should be doing our best to create the best games we can create, right? I think that Dungeons and Dragons is beyond fun. Well, and so I understand. Like, I get that no one else is saying what I'm saying on the internet. If you go to any commentator on the internet and ask them, what's the point of Dungeons and Dragons? They're like, it's to have fun with your friends, right? I don't believe that. I actually believe that the point of Dungeons and Dragons is transformation of us as people, okay? So I truly, I have been transformed by Dungeons and Dragons. I have read thousands and thousands of pages that I would have never read if I had never started playing Dungeons and Dragons. I have gotten interested in subjects that I would have never been interested in if it hadn't been for Dungeons and Dragons. The other thing is just the idea of being in the dungeon master seat and being a world builder, I think fundamentally changes a person. Once you begin the act of world building, it just there's nothing you don't feel that you can do, and that is transformative, right? So I play Dungeons and Dragons to continue my own transformation into a better person, right? And I fully believe that the game does transform anybody it impacts, right? And really fundamentally changes them. And I'm 100% aware no one else believes what I just said, right? Like, they're all like, oh, it's a fun game. We roll some dice and we kill some orcs and whatever, blah, 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 right? And I just don't think that's the case. I think there's something fundamentally, like the idea that a dungeon master has, 100 non-player characters in their head, and that Dungeons and Dragons players walk away with new understandings of identity, new understandings of gender, new understandings of empathy and sympathy. It's just so fundamentally important, right? And so I don't like attaching that to friendship. I think you should get the best people you can get at your table and not just play with your friends, right? And I am 100% aware no one on the internet is saying that but me, and no one at Wizards of the Coast is saying that. In fact, anyone who opposes me on this, they do have evidence from current Wizards of the Coast, Dungeons and Dragons, that the game really does want to focus on friendship, because Valor's Call is all about friendship, and Strongheart is like, everybody in Valor's Call is my friend, right? And he's like, I'm not adding people to Valor's Call who I don't like, right? He's not like, I'm going out there to get the best swords I can get, and so we can fight, evil well. He's like, these people are my friends, and even to the point where he's like, I would die for them, right? Like, and that, that is a dedication to a friend, right? So I didn't like that because it is evidence that people at Dungeons and Dragons and at Wizards of the Coast don't care about transformation, right? They care about friendship more than this game. You should play this with the best people you can play Dungeons and Dragons with, right? So I do believe that the intent of Gary Gygax was for transformation, not for friends at a table, right? I will say this, right? I do think friendship can happen when people... one of the reasons why I don't worry about friendship that much is I feel like if you pursue something important well and really go all out to achieve it, you can end up being someone's friend, right? Whereas if you do something with your friends and you don't seek the best people, you don't always get the best result, right? Because the friends are very tolerant of each other and often don't push each other, right? Like, I know my friends are not like, riding me to, fix this or fix that. In fact, they're some of the people who are most tolerant of my flaws. And I'll tell you right now, with my friends too, like, there's things like I would like to say to my friends, like, do X, right? But like, I don't want to be a nuisance to them, right? And, and if I see that my friend is in pain or is really hurting or something, then of course I'm going to be a little more assertive. But overall, I think, there's just this, friends are more tolerant. So I did not like that Valor's Call and Strongheart specifically is really calling dungeon masters and players to the importance of friendship in Dungeons and Dragons, right? And that goes against my premise, but also I don't have cognitive dissonance. I understand when, something that I hold to be important is being contradicted by the source that I want to confirm that thing, right? And so this is one area where I'm convinced that, the heart of the game is transformation, and that friendship is very secondary. But I think if you read Valor's Call, Chris Perkins is like, this game's about friendship. Dungeons & Dragons is about friendship, right? And that's okay. It's totally okay for him to say that, and one of the reasons why is that's what he's saying now, right? But the reality is, thank goodness, thank the Lord above, Dungeons & Dragons is bigger than one person and bigger than one company, right? Dungeons & Dragons is going to outlast... I honestly believe Dungeons & Dragons will... Well, I was going to say outlast Hasbro. Hasbro's doing great, man. I don't think they're going anywhere for a couple centuries, and I think Dungeons & Dragons will be right with them. And I actually don't want Dungeons & Dragons to leave Hasbro. I think Hasbro is the best Guardian the game has ever had, by far better than TSR, and certainly far better than the House Flip. WotC group, so that's my take. So I really absolutely loved Strongheart. He is really fantastic in the book. Great piece of art on him. His equipment is awesome, and I think Valor's Call, which he built, is really epic. All that's my opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Strongheart. I'd also love to hear your thoughts on which do you think is more important in Dungeons & Dragons. Transformation of people through the power of Dungeons & Dragons, its call to literacy, its call to learn almost an innumerable number of different subjects and disciplines, its call to do world building, its call to be narrative engineers. Do you see what I'm saying, where I think that could be more valuable and more useful to people than, we get together with our friends and we roll these plastic dice, right? So, or do you really feel like fun and friendship really is the heart of Dungeons & Dragons? And if so, why, right? And also, have you had more fun and friendship from the game, or have you had more transformation the way I have? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.